Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit is happy here back again with Hunter x Hunter. We're on episode 64, and in the last episode we began the training with Biscuit, or Bisky as she likes to be called. We got her reason for wanting to be in here, to get the Blue Planet gem card item thing. And yeah, we had like a training sequence involving a bounty hunter and, slash murderer, who was Benold, who has changed his tune now and become the good guy and turned himself in because of Gon's sheer, pure nature that he's got going on. And yeah, we're just continuing on with this training. When we left off, they were digging in a straight line with shovels all the way to the city, which is 3 hours walk away, so that would take absolutely forever. But they figured out that they could use their aura to surround it and then make it go faster and everything like that. So that's where we left off. And I don't think there's anything else to really talk about, so we're going to get in episode 64 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. That ending came out of nowhere. Normally, I've been conditioned. I've been conditioned to expect when the ending's coming up, because generally it plays like it either plays like the commentator's, like the narrator's voice, basically explaining like what's gonna happen, or what has just happened, and then what could possibly happen coming up, and then the beginning of the ending song actually starts playing before the actual credits show up. So I've been conditioned. That one just came out of nowhere. So the Phantom Trooper found it in real life. Damn. So what did they do then? I figure what they did was they must have used Cortopi for this, right? They must have done, because I think that what they did is they went in with some sort of item, made him copy it, left it there, left the game, and then had him use like that to like sort of, be able to coordinate the position of what he copied. Fucking hell. Ugh. So I think that's the only way they could have figured that out, right? Because I don't think they have any other real like people that can, coordinate certain positions and stuff. So yeah, that's interesting. Right, anyway. Right, so Bisky at the very beginning there, she was talking about how that both Gon and Killua don't really, they're good like sort of physically and whatnot, but they are like unable to strategize during a fight, which I did kind of say like, really, because I feel like, yeah, that may be something like with Killua that Killua's never done before, but I feel like Gon has. But then, like, when I look back, I feel like, yeah, maybe not, because the whole thing at the like arena and stuff, he was like, flipping like the arena up and stuff like that, which is something that he clearly thought of before the fight. So maybe it is during, which is something that obviously Kurapika, like, that's his specialty, like his ability to strategize during a fight and figure stuff out on the fly. So yeah, I just want to get that out of the way, because I was a bit I was just wondering exactly what she meant by strategize, but I guess, yeah, Gon has only done stuff, figured stuff out like beforehand, before she was talking about how the game was made to essentially guarantee progress, like that's how it is. Like, it works in a sort of way with using everything like to your advantage to be able to take down certain things. It's the reason why all of the monsters like within that canyon have certain, like, you can only beat them via using Nen in like different ways, you know what I mean? So it allows you to practice using them in all of those different ways, like basically increasing like your aptitude to Nen like consistently across the board. So it's not just like using like one section of it and like having one bit of Nen be way better than like another part. Like, it seems like it all just like increases as a sort of like an average rate. Like, I think it's made that way. But she also, like, the way the subtitles sort of, it sounded like she was talking about how Jean made it specifically so Gon would be able to train, and that was what the original reason for it was. But it it just because it was there, other people could use it as well. But I don't know. So yeah, we had three different types of nen that were, sort of combined things to create different stuff. So ko is the name of obviously where you focus all of the different thingies of nen like into one, and then which is the focus to area like the aura into one area. So into a fist, into a foot, into your head. I don't know. But it's kind of interesting because like they use everything like Ten, Zetsu, Ren, Hatsu, and then Gyo's like the other one that they use. I mean, I always thought that Gyo was I suppose it is a kind of concentration kind of side to Nen, isn't it? Like, because you focus, it's just interesting that when you're talking about Gyo, you focus all of your, like, you focus, it's the way they described, obviously, you focus all of your aura into your eyes. So in a way, that's already ko in a nutshell, isn't it? If you focus everything into one area, then that is kind of ko in a nutshell, right? But I guess the whole idea with it being obviously more concentration based, like, it's being able to visually see your aura take one part of your body. So I think that's the only reason why Gyo is like necessary for ko to be a thing. I think. Could be wrong though. Ken. So Ken is the focus, the aura sort of everywhere, though it's not as obviously as potent as it all being, congested into one like sort of singular area, like one singular point, but it's sort of spread throughout your entire body. And of course, like it makes sense that Gon would like sort of almost pass out like at 2 minutes in, just because like I feel like Ken is probably the like as of right now up in the story, I feel like Ken is like the most use of aura all at once. Like you're expending like a hell of a lot of nen all at once with Ken. Because it's like when they say like you're using Ren to sort of like extend your aura out, like you're pushing it out of yourself, but also because you're using like a lot of things at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like there's always a bit of aura that is being let out, like a bit more than what is being sort of kept in, and being like sort of like the opposite. Because I feel like Zetsu is sort of like that in a way, right? It's kind of like the opposite in that it allows you to conserve it. So, but I feel like you can't conserve it entirely, meaning that like it's not like you can expend aura, but I don't think you can like grab aura and put it back in, if that makes sense. So I feel like every time you're using Ken, there is always, because you're using Ren at the same, like, using Ren as one facet of using Ken, like you're always expending energy out. So yeah, I feel like you're using a hell of a lot more aura with Ken than anything else really. But yeah. I wrote down, can Killua use Ken? Because I've never, I mean, I guess it's something that was obviously just like kept out of like the anime, like we didn't see like in a time pass, like, because the reason why like Gon had to use it was because like that was his only way to really use like or enhance his enhancer abilities, you know what I mean, so to speak, because his class doesn't really require any special flashy kind of stuff. It's pretty, what it says on the tin kind of thing. It's pretty straightforward. So I never really got the whole thing that Killua knew how to do it, but I suppose he can. So I guess that's that. I mean that's one of the things. You know what I mean? I've said before that like this show's great because it doesn't. I'll enjoy the pace of the show, that it doesn't take too long for like you're not spending like 10 episodes like training one specific thing, and but like I think probably the negative with that is that sometimes you miss out certain things that would have happened and it wasn't really explained, so but it's all right, I mean it's not like I'm sitting here thinking that it's like unbelievable that Killua would like not know how to do it. Like he would figure it out eventually, you know what I mean? He's another like Gon, he's someone with like almost endless potential, so it's not surprising that he'd be able to pick it up. So yeah. The whole idea is that they're able to sustain Ken for 30 minutes. They managed to do that straight away, so yeah, that's good. And then the last one, so Ko, Ken, and then Ryu. So that is sustaining Ken all at once, but mixing Ko into it. So it's lowering and increasing the sort of percentage or the amount relative to attack and defense. So how much you want to keep in your entire body, which is defense, versus how much you want to apply to a fist into attack mode, essentially, right? And just the fact, like, I was during the reaction, I'm like sitting there going, how the fuck, like, I mean that's just anime in a nutshell, isn't it? Like unreasonable shit that goes down, you just kind of take as okay, fair enough, because it's anime. You know what I mean? But like, if this was like, it just wouldn't, like, to have that capability to be able to think that fast is just so inhuman. It's just crazy, like, because when you just try to think like how fast they are actually kicking, like they are attacking at beyond human speed sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, so to be able to think that quickly is insane. Just when you think about it, it just breaks your brain, doesn't it? So yeah, we had all that, and then we obviously went to the other group. Of course, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I was wrong in the fact that, like, it was the whole, like, group that they had. I figured it was like, I was right in that it was those guys that were there that decided to live there, kind of thing, right? But the one thing that I got, like, pretty much spot on was the fact that one guy with the glasses, like, I trust him the least out of all of them. And I think that's probably where character designs kind of come into play, because generally when you want to create it's like Crollo, for example, right? He's so, like, out there in terms of character design. It's like, well, he can't be fucking good, can he? You know what I mean? It's like, it's the same thing. Like, that guy's so, like, his facial structure is so fucking, like, it's so bony, and it's like almost skeletal in a way. Like, characters that generally have those kind of glasses and never turn out to be the nicest characters anyway. Like, if they are, like, on side of, like, the protagonist or whatever, they're generally the character that's a bit more up their own arse and a bit more they basically put everyone else down because they're not, like, as intelligent as they are and stuff like that. I just fucking knew. I knew. What a weird, like, power as well. I mean, that's Nen, right? But then they have things where they can connect Nen to the other two people, which they say they can, like, just, completely undo the like, for everyone, right? Simultaneously disarm all of the bombs if they're all together. It's just weird. Like, Nen is crazy. Nen is nuts, because in other shows, the whole idea of, like, of like the power, or, like, the essence of the magic that they use in shonen shows is generally, it can be relatively straightforward, and if there is a bit of a complicated side to it, it's generally, like, just, like, laid out in a way that is paced well, so that you can figure out exactly, like, what everything is generally within the space of, like, like 5 episodes or something. But I feel like with Nen, it's so fucking extensive. Like, I remember when they would just bring it to, like, everyone's attention, and they were like, right, well, you have 10 which can defend, and then, like, which, like, is like an aura shield in a way. You have Zetsu, which conceals it, and and everything like that, and then you have Ren, which can expand it, and then Hatsu with the ability to to turn it into action and then, like, use it in different ways. And I just remember being that, and I was like, all right, so there's this. But, like, when I was reacting to it in the moment, I was like, fucking hell, this is quite a lot. And then they turned the Hatsu part of it into different classes, so you use it in different ways with your class. And then after that, it's like branches off into hell, like, all these other different things. Then you can use it in different ways with other people. And then you can have, like, the fucking thing that Kurapika's doing with the... Oh, God. It's like... It's so much. It's so much. God damn it. It's so fucking... I love it because it is so extensive, meaning that the possibilities are almost endless. But I hate it because I know for a fact it's going to come up to a point in a fight where, like, it's going to be, you know, like, in your face, they're going to be doing stuff, and I'm going to be like, wait a minute, what the fuck's he using there again? And you know what I mean? It's like all of these different... It's just a lot. So yeah, Genthru is the guy. That's the guy who's the main bomber guy, although they are kind of a collection of just the three of them, I think. Yeah, and then Jisbal was the guy who was sort of he thought he was the leader, but I guess not anymore because he got his face blown off and he's nearly dead. But they wanted the breath of Archangel card or whatever the fuck, right, to save him. So I guess that gives us a sort of idea of exactly what it does, but it's able to bring someone back to life, maybe? I don't know. It's interesting, though. And especially considering the fact that it's a created game that has these sort of possibilities for certain things, like, how did they create that? Again, I think it's something that Jing might have just happened upon because of a relic or something. That's not of... It is of this world, but I feel like it's something that Jing found... And they're just learning about it, and like this is the kind of stuff that can, you know, because of the relic that you found, this is the stuff that can be, you know, that can be done. But I don't know. That's crazy. But yeah, that's all I got. This is nuts. So at this point, I don't know how long they've been in then. I think they've been in for like a month and a bit, maybe like almost 2 months, probably, I'd imagine. I don't think it's any longer than that. I know as well that like Gon and Killua tend to like learn things like in much quicker time than everything else. I remember like Bisky was saying that, you know, if they do this within 2 months, they'll be able to fight at like normal speed, which I think they're already doing, right? And they did that in 2 weeks. So I think it's around 2 months they've been here inside the Greed Islands, right? And now Phantom Troop's going to turn up, but like the normal way, which that's going to spell like something mad. I think. Like, I just feel like would Jing or the other guys who made the game not have put like a, you know, like a barrier or something like in place so that like if anyone did figure it out, which, you know, it's clearly it was possible that it could have been, you know, interpreted that way, that people wouldn't try to just get in through going in the real world. So, you know, I think there might be, you know, I think there will be. I think there'll be something that tries to stop them from doing so, or they might get rewarded for it. You know what I mean, for figuring it out. I don't know, but it does clearly sort of out Shalnark as someone who's very smart. So yeah. Interesting. But that is all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I've linked certain things. One of them is the Discord. You can get yourself over there. I also have a Patreon page as well, so if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier for $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunt a Hunt every week. That's 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday, as opposed to the usual general public that only gets 2 episodes a week. So yeah, once this goes out to the YouTube general public, you can become an early access tier patron and get access to shows like, you know, episodes beyond episode 100. So you'll have a lot there. It would be very much worth it. There's also full length there, and there's other tiers where you can pay to have certain shows reacted to as well. So yeah, go have a look at that. But that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.